Welcome to Return to the Office. I'm Nicole North, president of Whiteboard Learning.
And I'm Paula Menelakakis, CEO and founder of Bridalwood Professional Development.
And let's be honest, return to office wasn't just a policy change. It disrupted routines, boundaries, energy levels, and a lot of nervous systems.
Leaders are being told to bring people back now, while employees are thinking, I just rebuilt my life. What do you mean, full-time in office?
This podcast is about the messy middle, the awkward first weeks back, the office gossip, and the pressure to perform before people have actually re-regulated.
No corporate fluff, no pretending this is easy.
Just honest conversations, practical strategies, and a bit of humor, because this is Return to Office.
Welcome. Our new episode, as you can tell, we're in the raw.
We're in new outfits.
We're new at this.
It's definitely a new day.
That's right. We're new at this. We're learning all about it. And you know what? I'm having a fabulous time doing it.
I'm having a blast too.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole, for being here. I'm Paula Menelakakis from Bridalwood, and
I'm Nicole North from Whiteboard Consulting. Whiteboard Learning.
It's okay. It's good. We learn and consult all the
We learn, we consult, we do it all.
So today, what we're going to talk to you about is an episode that Kaylee created and talked to us about called This Could Have Been a Conversation. So we spoke about in the last episode, we talked about setting boundaries, managing expectations, creating that level of certainty that people need in order to thrive. So, and I want to hear about it because, you know, I love what you say. So what we want to talk about here is we want to talk about and look at it from three different lenses. Let's look at it from the lens of a leader, an employee, an individual contributor, and as an independent consultant. Let's look at it from the lens of what could have been a conversation and turned into a bit of a situation. I will give you a story because you know how I love stories.
Love a story.
Love a story. So let me tell you about something that happened to me years ago. I'll never forget this, and I still carry it with me forward. And this reminds me of the importance that people see every word differently than we do. So someone created an e-learning for me. I thought it was fabulous. When I saw it, I thought, amazing. I replied back, and my response to this individual was, I'm breathless. That individual took it as, she just told me this is shit. On God's true story. Instead of coming to me and saying, hey, P, what do you mean by that? And just so you know, this individual was my age. So
it's funny because I don't know you that well.
Yeah.
But in the short time I know you, if I saw you read I'm breathless, I would have known exactly what you meant.
Thank you.
I know you well enough to be like, I'm pretty sure I know what she means. I might want clarity. I'm like, tell me more.
Yeah. Like it was, and I still to this day tell you, it's the best first cut I've ever seen of an e-learning. Best. Nobody's ever topped it. Nobody. And I aspire.
To this day.
To this day. Nobody's ever topped it. Not even my own work. Like I can honestly say that this gentleman superseded all expectations. And that was my response. Day later, knock, 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 knock. Manager's at my door. What's wrong with you, man? Why would you say that to him? What'd I do? And basically said, you sent this nasty email. Me send a nasty email? My heart started fluttering, thinking, did someone get into my laptop? Right, because I never send nasty emails. That was never been my thing. And maybe a nasty text message to my husband if it pisses me off, but never a nasty email. So anyways, I see it. I said, yeah. I said, I was complimenting him. That was wonderful. He didn't take it like that. So now fast forward.
That's on you, bro.
Yeah. Fast forward to today. I'm very careful. Very careful. But I always think back and think, could he not have just walked over and told me? Why did he have to go to my one-up? Why do you have to do that? And now, optics. Let's look at the optics of what he did here. People started calling me difficult to work. Oh, she's very opinionated. Oh, she's this. So this is why it's very important to look at all sides of the story. And that's why today, as we're talking, I like to look at multiple sides. And I'm always flipping. I'm pancaking, I'm flipping, I'm flicking. In the 80s, you'd call it a Rubik's Cube. Now I'm calling it a pancake, whatever it is. So now, I want to ask you, Nicole, what you had asked me to say earlier. What was it? Tell me now before I'm having a brain bend.
That this return to office was done without any consultation or change management.
Right. Tell me if you think, and then I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah.
Then, because God forbid I keep my mouth closed and not give you my opinion.
It, and I like disagreeing too. Like we're welcome to disagree because I think that's where the most interesting conversations come from.
Yeah.
If we both just agreed with everything we said, this would be a pretty boring podcast. Great point, Paula. Yeah. Also great point, Nicole. Agree wholeheartedly. I'll second that and add on an idea.
So tell me, from perspective one, let's dissect this. From an adult learning perspective, from a change management perspective, do you think Doug Ford would have had better success if he had implemented a change management strategy?
I bet there was a change management strategy. I'm sure there was a team implementing this.
Okay.
Let me use an analogy.
Go ahead.
Companies had been trying to use video conferencing and remote meeting tools for years, but hadn't been able to iron out the kinks or figure out how to use them properly.
Okay.
But man, did we figure it out in about 2 weeks during COVID.
Yep. Good point.
So while this might not be the textbook approach to change, arguably, no amount of consultation was going to make this change welcome. No amount of seeking input from the employees to, are you interested in coming back to work 5 days a week, fighting traffic, packing your own lunch, and losing your work life balance? Nobody was going to say yes to it. So if you look,
some people would have.
If you look at like pro-size change management model, right? ADKAR, awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, reinforcement.
Yeah.
Okay. They could have done a longer window of awareness. I will 100% admit that telling people in July that they'll be back 4 days a week in September on a news bulletin and then 5 days a week in January did not give people enough lead time to make preparations. So that part I can agree. So maybe the awareness side could have been bolstered. There's no way you're building desire for this. So in a way, sometimes the urgency and speed just helps us move out of that dip. Look,
pushes us over the ledge.
It pushes us over the ledge and maybe moves us to equilibrium faster. And look, I've been a change management consultant. I might be working myself out of a job here, right? I'm cannibalizing my own work.
No,
but I feel like no amount of effort in this could have made the organizational output of this. And like I said, I bet you, and I know that there were people working probably very hard to make the best of this situation and manage the change properly. But the fact of the matter is, Doug Ford has a driving personality.
That's right.
Urgency and task focused. It's like, what's the outcome? I want economy, I want money. Yeah. Not money for himself, but I want the economy going.
Too. Yeah.
This was the way to do it. No amount of it was going to make people happy. No amount of consultation was going to build desire enough. Yeah. In a way, it was like a rip the Band-Aid kind of situation. The longer you spent ruminating. Look, you know what the optimal solution for me is? You would have done this 4 years ago. When the world went relatively back to normal, you should have brought people 4 days then. And then the extra day would have been like, well, we're already here 4. What's one extra day?
Yeah.
But 3 to 5 in that Band-Aid scenario is what's going to cause all the angst. But in all honesty, I don't know how much better traction you would have gotten. And but here's where I think the opportunity is. Managers now can use this opportunity to use a model like ADKAR to say awareness. Here's the situation. We're back. We're here.
Yeah.
We realize this isn't ideal for many of you.
Yeah.
We realize there's social jet lag. We realize there's new nervous center disruption, amygdala reactions as a result of all this stress and all this change. How can we make it work? Now that we're here, now that we're in it, How do meetings need to be set up? How do boundaries need to be set up? Now you can use that desire model in ADKAR to say, now that we're here, how can you do it? So there's my hot take.
Okay, so I'm going to disagree. I disagree with you. I really do think that if he had thought it through, I understand what his end game was, but I don't understand the way he went through to execute it. Not I don't understand, I don't agree with the way he did it. However, where you are correct is I believe we still now have the opportunity as leaders to use the ADKAR model for supporting our employees and individual contributors and even supporting our colleagues as fellow leaders in accepting and bringing forth this change. So when we go back to the topic of this could have been a conversation, there could have been more conversation. And I think a little bit more communication, a little bit more conversation, a little bit more desire could have helped bite the blow. But like we established, could be like a Band-Aid, could be like a bowl in the China shop where you really don't need the China anyways. Plastic glasses work just as good. And that's pretty much what we're doing right now. So let's talk about some strategies now for building in conversations with leaders and employees. How can we build that in? Are people going to be ready to have a conversation when they get back with you? Are they going to be pissed? Just throwing it out there. What do you think we do? Do we start the one-on-ones? Do we pretend like none of this happened and go into career development strategies and right? What's your next goals for coming up in September? No. Let's talk the game here. I have you now.
I am not having a goal setting conversation with you on day 2. I barely have a pair of pants on. My lunch fell apart.
So if we're going to take Doug Ford's strategy, which is let's just go in and break the shelves, right? Throw it all down like a Greek dance. Bang, 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 swoosh, 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 and leave the rummage on the ground. This is only one added extra day. You've been back 4 days since September. So you know what, really, and this is just me being a hard ass. You want me to be, I'm just being.
No, I'm into it.
Okay. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay. All right. So let's say, you know what? Could you imagine me in an office right now laughing at somebody come up to me saying that?
Yeah.
But you can't help but laugh.
Actually, Paula's snorting in her office all day. It's very distracting, very difficult for me to finish my deliverables.
I thought I was like so ladylike in my laugh too. Like I thought it was like these little English Downton Abbey chicks. Yeah. So, okay, let's say now forget about day 2. Let's say 2 weeks have passed, 3 weeks have passed. You're into it. It's January
March
21st. Let's say January 21st, February 1st. Before we know it, it's the end of Q1. If it's the banks, it's actually Q2. If it's right? Because
the government, it's Q4.
Okay. But now you should be having your year-end conversations, right? What are your development goals? Is your development goal coming into the office 5 days a week?
Look, lady, I'm just looking to get here every day and keep my shit together. Yeah. That's my year-end goal.
Yeah, but then you got team building. You got to do team building. And now, remember last year, team building was virtual. We had our Christmas party. Everyone wore their funny necklace from the dollar store via the Zoom call, right? And we had our Tim Hortons.
Oh, remember those awful social hours during COVID?
Terrible.
Zoom cocktails at 5:30.
Yeah. Or you'd have to do exercise and somebody wouldn't know when to shift their laptop. And I was looking at their belly button the whole time as they were doing exercise. Like, I don't want to see your belly button while you're doing exercise. I can't see my own belly button, but at least I don't have to see this one. And then you'd have someone would know to put their stuff on mute. So we're going to have all these funny stories again. Right? All the fun. And then somebody that chose just not to do it and sit there and say, it is what it is. I'm going to sit on the call, watch you all as I just
silently judge you.
Yes. But now you'll have that back again. Right? So these conversations, sorry, I just, I'm chuckling inside. I'm trying to hold my laughter so badly right now. It's just so funny. So how are we going to have conversations? We, as leaders, as employees, about our year end, about the coming year. What are we working on? What types of development goals will we be incorporating into our team? Will it be collaboration? Will it be networking again?
I'm so mad at this conversation.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's not you. I'm putting myself in the shoes of being back at the office.
Yes.
And if you wanted to talk to me about collaboration, I'd tell you to stuff a sandwich. Like
So
I've never said that before. I don't even know what that means.
But when we're looking at this, let's remember our target audience has 7 different faces. We got net new graduates. We got people that are getting ready to retire out.
I get it. You're not wrong.
So some of them will need to build this skill.
You're right.
Wait, sorry.
I think so. Okay. So if these conversations have to happen, which I'm reticently agreeing with you, Paula, they do have to happen. I think they need to have an empathetic lens.
Yeah.
It's not like let's go get them. Like, it's not like a coach mentality. Like, let's hit the year running.
Right.
What are your metrics? What are your targets for this year?
We
Like,
can't act like we've been a team before. We have to act like a net new team.
no. Wow. That really, that terrible, it's not terrible. It's amazing. Bruce Tuckman's theory of
group
team development,
That's
right? Says that
Norming,
storming, norming, forming, performing, adjourning, or whatever the last one is. But if you think about that, people are going to think, oh, I already have a pre-existing team. It's already performing or whatever, but you don't. This shift, this change has moved you back to storming.
That's right.
Which lines up with everything we've been saying, because Bruce Tuckman's theory says that if your team is in storming, you actually need to be setting clear expectations,
That's right.
establishing norms and ground rules, putting clarity, setting expectations, negotiating conflicts, doing all that stuff, which is a more directive role of a manager than we like to be, right? Like we think, oh, I'm a great leader. I'm hands off. I let you do what you want to do.
Until we realize that it's not.
Right? So this is an element of putting more control and constraints in place.
Yeah.
And I think there is a element of empathy and realness that needs to be in there. Not this buddy like, oh, this sucks, hey?
Yeah.
Not that. It's more of a like, I hear you, this is hard. And what can I do as your leader to help us meet the objectives you want to meet, I want you to meet, and the organization wants you to meet?
That's right. That's I think that's a beautiful way of putting it.
And it's like, I think leaders have to just put this, it's not game face. It's not, like overly sympathetic. It's just this calm confidence of like, I hear you.
Right.
What do we need to do? How can I support you? And, when the person's like, well, you could bring us back 3 days a week. Well, in the absence of that being a possibility for me, what can we do? So like, it's just diverting the conversation towards the path. And that's a really tough skill. That's not an easy skill, especially if you're conflict averse. Yeah. If you come at me hot and are like, I can't meet these deliverables. This is unacceptable. This isn't in my job description. My nervous system is going crazy. I'm going to an amygdala reaction. I'm going to probably people please to get out of the situation quickly.
Right. To a fault,
right? That's my particular amygdala reaction response. Yours might be to fight or avoid or compromise and meet in the middle, whatever the case may be. But I think realistically, this like calm kind of neutral, I hear you, I'm listening. There's a tool I use really often called LEADER. Listen, echo, empathize, thank, evaluate, and resolve. It's right here.
Oh, nice.
It's right here on the sticker. Yeah. And I think that tool would be incredibly effective for leaders right now. And what it would sound like is you, Paula, tell me, I'm the manager and you're telling me I'm struggling. I'm tapped. And I listen. I, actively listen. Maybe I'm taking notes, I'm absorbing, and I echo back. What I'm hearing you say, Paula, is the commute is really taking its toll on you. You thought you could handle it, but the commute is really struggling with you. And I could say, okay, that's my echo back. Then I empathize. And sometimes people think empathy needs to be like, I'm so sorry for you, or I'm sorry, or try and take it on. Empathy really at its basis, it's almost like just validating that an emotion exists. I can see this is super stressful
Yeah.
for you. End it there.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, this is stressful for everyone, Paula, not
Like,
just
keep your
you.
opinion to yourself. Yeah. At that
Right?
point.
You
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that how it's very different.
Yeah.
Or even saying like, I'm also stressed about the commuting, Paula. Now I've made it about me. But Paula, I can see that this commute's really really stressing you out.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you. That's the T in leader. Thanks so much for being vulnerable. And then the last two steps are where you actively move towards some resolution. So the first one, in the last thing is evaluate. And so I might say something like, Paula, what ideas do you have? Given that we are back full time and there's no likely change in that, and I don't have any ability to
can I
create
do?
arrangements,
Yeah.
what can you do to ease this for yourself?
Yeah.
And I let you go.
Yeah.
Maybe you have ideas. Some employees will go, I don't have any ideas. I've worked through them already. They're not there yet. They're still in the change curve. And then I might say, well, I have a couple of ideas, Paula. What about shifting your work schedule? Does working 10 to
6 or whatever.
6
yeah.
somehow
offset
this in some way? And again, might not be the best solution.
Right.
You might say that's not possible with my
But
kids.
it might be
Okay,
the best option if that's
but what if it's something? Or 7 to 3
Yeah.
or a split shift? I don't know.
right.
And then you move to resolution and you say, okay, so based on what we've discussed, the commute's a struggle for you. I feel for you. We talked about a few options, and we're thinking that shifting your work schedule from 7 a.m. to 3
Right.
meets our operational needs and might create a less stressful commute for you. How do we give that a try for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And see if you can get into a cadence where that works for you. Can we agree on that and revisit this in March and see where we're at?
That's a perfect example of a conversation, right? And that's exactly what we're saying in this podcast today is that have that conversation. Those are great tools.
Yeah.
Great tools for not just a leader, but also for someone to think about. Before approaching your leader, think these things through. Be ready for a conversation, not a confrontation, right? Consider
That's a sound bite.
Yeah, because just like you, it was because of what you said that inspired me to say that, right? Because as you were talking, I was thinking about the things you were saying, and I thought that's very empowering. And because I know I'm a very passionate person, and when I believe in something, it's very hard to move me. However, at the same time, I do listen, and listening, and I think this is something we need to remember. Everyone we're dealing with in this situation are an adult, either that has financial responsibilities or civil responsibilities, some form of a responsibility to work and do their very best. And you're giving that advice, and that format leader that you just gave is perfect.
Because here's what I often hear leader, like as in managers doing, is you come in and you say, I'm struggling with this 5 days a week. And I jump to conclusions.
That's right.
And I say something maybe unrelated to the commute. Well, Paula, you're just going to have to get used to more meetings on your schedule, and you're going to have to get used to, them being back to back and fitting in your deliverables in the other time. And you're just going to have to get used to that, Paula, because that's the new, what do they call it? The new normal.
Stupid.
That's the new normal. Yeah. And I go on and on and on. And you're looking at me and you're going, you have no idea what my problem was.
But
my problem was with my commute time. It was unrelated to anything else, not about meetings, not about deliverables, not about productivity, not about outputs, nothing. Your issue was with the commute, but I never took time to actually hear you.
Right.
I jumped to a conclusion or an assumption about what I thought your problem was. And now you leave my office. I'm all hot to trot, look at me, what I solved.
Right.
And you're more disengaged than when we started.
Right. And I know how you want to phrase this, but leaders have things on their minds too, right? They might have 5, 10, 15, 20 people reporting into. You could be the 7th person that came today with this, right? So when we're approaching leaders remember, we're not the only one, right? And that's why be ready for that conversation, not that conflict. Be ready to have a real conversation, a thought, right? Something that you can use to consider all these different options that you put in. So I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is that conversation, being open to it. Remember, it's both two ways, goes two ways. Some things you'll want to hear, some things you won't want to hear, right? And ultimately, you have control of your career. If you can't do it, maybe it's time for a career change, right? Yeah. If you can't do the 5 days, is there something you can do?
We have a friend who didn't want to do the return to work and found a remote position. Happy as a...
Yeah. So happy for her.
Right?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So blessed. So and sometimes that conversation can lead to discovery, right? And that's self-discovery.
But as a note, leaders, I don't think you should lead with, well, if you don't like it here, then you should go somewhere else.
Yeah. No, you might as well just tell your husband to walk out then at this point, right? Like we can't deal with relationships with a no go. How do you say ultimatums?
Yeah.
Is that the right word? When you give someone something they can't budge? Yeah, like bring out your emotional intelligence hat. Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the 80s. We talked about this for many, many years. People were still struggling with it before we went to COVID.
And the fact of the matter is, we kind of pushed it all down during remote work because it was like everyone was so
happy.
Everyone was so happy and complacent. We're like,
you were working sick. You were working. It didn't matter if your nose was running. You were working. Your kids were homesick. You were working. It did not matter. My back hurt. I was working. I could stand up, right? My stomach hurt. I had my own lavatory to go to. So I was okay.
It's
right. It
true.
wasn't a public 5 stalls in a row.
So if anything, leaders are going to have to flex those conversation skills, those empathy skills, their emotional intelligence skills, flexing their personality style. If you're, a task-driven, urgent person and you just want everyone to get over it, you're going to have to get over it and realize that you need to have some people-focused conversations.
And maybe this will be hot minute, my hot flash, whatever you want to call this is going to be hot. But maybe this is the time.
From now on, all hot takes are called hot flashes.
Yeah, this would be perfect actually for me.
Perfect for us.
Perfect. We're ironing out the kinks. So my hot flash is maybe this is the time for HR to start hiring differently. Leaders can no longer just be leaders on paper. They have to be subject matter experts because if half your team can call and say you got 10 sick days a year, you're going to use all 10. Who's going to be there to do the work if they're not there? And you have to get it done. A deadline's a deadline. So maybe instead of just employees or individual contributors having to reconsider their career choices, maybe leaders need to reconsider their career choices.
No, that's a hot flash.
Okay. All right, Tommy, you always have very good endings. What do you want to call this? A hot take, gossip, tea? My son says, what's the tea?
Okay, so our segment for today is say this, not that.
Okay.
So I want leaders to use leader, listen, echo, empathize, thank, evaluate, and resolve, and not get over it, find a new job.
Yeah. Get off the boat and swim.
This is the new normal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Empathetically listen. It does not mean you have to apologize. It doesn't mean that you have to solve the world's problems. That evaluation and resolve piece can be a two-way street.
Yeah. You're so good.
So when leaders prioritize communicating with empathy, it really opens the door. But what determines if people really walk through the door and take that support? So in the next episode, we're unpacking what genuine organizational support really looks like during re-onboarding and why gestures might mean more to employees than leaders actually think.
That's nice.
I'm Nicole North.
And I'm Paula Manilakakis.
And we'll see you next time.
That wraps up this episode of Return to Office.
Thanks for listening. whether you're commuting, hiding in a boardroom, or pretending this is background noise.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
And if this made you laugh, not aggressively, or feel a little less alone, like, share, or leave us a review.
We'll see you next time back at the office.